Today we're going to be talking about group conflict, the common conflicts that they have, conflict prevention, conflict resolution, what to do, what not to do, and influences of cultural differences. Common conflicts, according to Make a Dent Leadership, explain 5. Interdependence conflicts happen when a person relies on cooperation, inputs, or outputs from someone else in order to get their job done. This type of conflict can be addressed by ensuring that people have a good handle on delegation skills, have been trained on how to have challenging conversations, and that consequences are being used. Differences in style. Everyone has a different preferred method of how to get work done. Examples of this are task-oriented or people-oriented. To lessen these types of conflicts, training on how to understand and successfully navigate style differences will help. Differences in leadership. This can cause conflicts for individuals who deal with more than one leader at work that have different styles, and that can cause confusion. Personality clashes are ignited by emotions and perceptions of another's motives or character. And last, differences in background or gender. These types of conflicts can occur because of age, differences in educational background, personal experiences, ethnic heritage, gender, and political preference. For conflict prevention, Mind Tools provides a list of skills and behaviors to work on in order to prevent conflicts. They say, deal with conflict immediately, be open. If people have issues, they need to be expressed immediately and not allowed to fester. Practicing clear communication, practice active listening, practicing identifying assumptions, asking yourself why on a regular basis. Not letting conflict get personal. Stick to the facts and issues, not personalities. Focusing on actionable solutions. Encouraging different points of view. Not looking for blame. Encouraging ownership of the problem and solution. And demonstrating respect. If the situation escalates, take a break and let emotions subside. And keeping team issues within the team. For conflict resolution. Conflicts are bound to happen when you have a group of people because no two individuals think exactly the same way. Conflict is not always a negative thing though. Positive changes can come from conflict. There are many different theories on conflict resolution, but most of them have similar factors and keys to success. Though there may be an urge to avoid or ignore conflict in the hopes that it will subside on its own, this usually just makes the problem fester and become a bigger deal than it was in the first place. Dealing with conflicts as they arise will be more beneficial in the end. One of the main similarities that all theories have is communication being a cornerstone of effective conflict resolution. The textbook outlines 5 conflict resolution styles. They are withdraw and avoid, accommodate, oblige, compromise, compete, force, or dominate, and the 5th is collaborate, integrate, and problem solve. Each of these styles is different and may not be the way to handle your conflict. However, it is very important to understand these 5 basic types. Things to avoid when dealing with conflict are, when trying to resolve conflicts, there are a number of things that there needs to be an effort to avoid in order to effectively and efficiently come to an agreeable resolution. If not avoided, some things can in fact worsen whatever the conflict may be, and some things that can make conflicts worse, according to Marty Bernstein, are finger pointing, which is blaming someone else that does not help and can create tension, a my way or the highway attitude, pushing your view on someone else and not being willing to consider the view of somebody else will make it difficult to come to a settlement. Inserts verbal threats or ultimatums. Name calling and personal insults will not make somebody want to come to a solution. Also, threats and ultimatums can make it seem like you are out to get somebody and can intimidate some. That does not foster teamwork. Defensiveness and avoidance can cause issues by an individual trying to make excuses and trying to justify actions rather than listening to what somebody else has to say, or just running away from the problem will not allow for discussion. Beating around the bush and not addressing the source. When there is a conflict, it needs to be addressed directly with that person. Inflaming emails is sending emails about an issue, and a conflict really needs to be discussed in person. The last is focusing on perceived intentions. Making assumptions about another person is not the right frame of mind to have when entering a conflict situation. There are many methods that you can implement to ensure effective, successful conflict resolution. According to Managing Teams for Dummies, it is important to stay in control. Do not let your emotions control the situation. Be direct, factual, and sincere. This will help to make them see where you are coming from. Go to the source. Do not talk to others about an issue before it is addressed in person with the individual that is involved. Actively listen. It shows that you care and that you want to understand what the other person is saying. And assume that the person means well. In addition to this, Sandler training suggests that you clarify positions, let everyone voice their opinion and explain their viewpoint. List the facts and assumptions based on each position. This allows everyone to see the pros and cons of each point of view. Break into smaller groups. This will break up alliances. This allows discussion without fear of losing friendships. Reconvene the groups. This will ensure that the team moves forward in agreement or at least mutual understanding. The last step in their method is to celebrate the resolution as a team. But because each situation is different and there's no one method that has to be followed every time, you can mix and match to find what works best for you and your team for the specific situation. Culture can have a big influence on conflicts and how they are solved, and in some cases can be the cause of conflicts within work groups. When there is not an understanding of another culture, it can cause confusion and irritation between team members. Educating employees on cultural differences and raising cultural awareness can soothe many of these issues. Notre Dame suggests that teams develop a team initiative. Company-wide training involving all levels will create a message of cultural awareness that is specifically tailored to individual groups within your organization, without singling anyone out. This will help all employees feel respected, valued, and appreciated for their contribution. Create a team momentum. When you have a positive team momentum, they are more likely to solve conflicts without escalation. A difference in culture may also affect how an individual handles conflict or how they perform their work tasks. This is something that needs to be taken into consideration. Also, when working with individuals from different cultures, there's their norm for communication style and aspects of work that are more valued need to be known to understand where they stand on some issues. In conclusion, things that you don't want to do are point fingers, make assumptions, beat around the bush, insult or make threats, get defensive, talk to others, or avoid the conflict. Things that you want to be sure to do are stay in control, be concise and sincere, talk directly to the source, stop conflicts as they arise, actively listen, get both sides of the issue, and celebrate the solution.